What's going on, guys? PlotArmorCards in the house, and if you're like me and you've been watching a lot of people pull Dimension Force packs just to see what's in them, you know a lot of these cards. However, these have all been confirmed, and I know that people are excited for a lot of these cards, so I thought I should go ahead and review some of these world premiere Dimension Force cards. Now, a lot of these are going to be Libromancers, but a lot of them are really, really good Libromancers. So, without further ado, let's get started, guys. So the first one we're going to be looking at is Libromancer Firestarter, and that's going to be in Secret Rare. Interesting. So it's level 4 Cyberse Effect monster, 1800 attack, 1800 defense. You can reveal one ritual monster in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. So the interesting thing about this card is this archetype runs on rituals, so technically you don't even have to use... It doesn't even say that it has to be Libromancer specific. So it leaves interesting... openings there for maybe using other types of rituals in your deck. If this card is special summon, you can add one Libromancer monster from your deck to your hand, except Libromancer Fire. You can only use each effect of Libromancer Fire once per turn. So that also is super, super dope because the ability to add a Libromancer is just broken, and it's not even specific to you're going to add a ritual or you're not going to add a ritual. It just says Libromancer monster. So you can essentially add anything. Next, we got Colonel on C string. So this was me on basketball in high school, just sitting on the bench yelling at everybody. Colonel on C string. Level 4 Light Warrior Effect Monster, 1400 attack, 1600 defense. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon 2 level 4 or lower warrior monsters with different names from your hand in defense position. That's pretty good. I could see this work in a variety of different warrior decks. I could definitely try this in my King's Knight, Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight, Slifer the Sky Dragon deck. That would be interesting. Maybe figure out how that would work properly in that deck. Next, we got Navy Dragon Mech, which seems to be around the same archetype as Vermilion Dragon Mech. It is coming in a super rare. It's a level 9 Water Machine Synchro Effect Monster, 2700 attack, 1800 defense. Takes a tuner plus 1 non-tuner monsters. This is generic. I'm for sure going to be trying this in my Blue Eyes deck. However, I don't know what it does yet, so maybe I could take that back. If this card is special summon, you can target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of tuners in your graveyard. Okay, so if you're running Blue Eyes, you're going to have at least 1 or 2 in your graveyard. But it does target, so it depends on what it does. Negate their effects, okay, until the end of this turn. If this Synchro Summon card is destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 tuner in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Okay, for sure I'm going to be trying this out in my Blue Eyes deck, just because negates, they always come in handy. Maybe I'll try it out in my Gradles. I know most of the time you summon level 8s. But I'm sure there'll be a way to climb up to a level 9 that I just haven't figured out yet, and if I do enough experimenting, I'm sure it'll work. Next, we got, I don't even know how to pronounce this thing, Patisikilko, I don't know how to pronounce that. We'll just call it PC. It's a super rare. It's a level 5 Dark Fairy Fusion Pendulum monster, 1700 attack, 700 defense. Pendulum effect. If you have no card in your other pendulum zone, you can place 1 face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck to your pendulum zone. You can only use this effect once per turn, and then I think that's pretty decent, just to be able to recycle stuff that's in your extra deck if needed, of course. Monster effect: 2 pendulum monsters. If this card is in the monster zone and is destroyed, you can place this in your pendulum zone. Okay. So next we got a normal trap card, Omega Judgment. So again, it's searchable by Trap Trick. You can target 1 face-up card in your spell and trap zone, and 2 cards your opponent controls, destroy them. I think we have something similar. It's not the exact same, but I'm thinking of Icarus Attack. I don't know if it's exactly the same because I'm trying to remember its effect off the top of my head. But I don't see this one personally seeing too much play unless you run a deck that it's beneficial for your own card to get destroyed, you know? So next we got another normal trap card. So Trap Trick again, or you could use Lilith. Draw cards. It's called Backup Team. Draw cards equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. Then place cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck in any order equal to the number of cards you drew. During the end phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use 1 Backup Team per turn and only once that turn. So this is interesting because it is draw card, and people really like the drawing, for obvious reasons. And so maybe it could see some play. However, I feel like there are already better drawing cards out there, but it just depends on when it comes out and what uses people can find of it, because people are insanely innovative and they always find insane things to do with certain cards that I just never thought would work. Next we got Libromancer Mystigirl in a super rare. It's a level 4 light fairy ritual effect monster, 1400 attack, 2100 defense. You can ritual summon this card with a Libromancer card. And this card was ritual summoned using a monsters on the field. Your opponent cannot target ritual monsters you control with monster effects. Okay, interesting. So that at least gives it protection. Not only itself, but all other ritual monsters you have. And again, this is not Libromancer specific. This is a ritual monster. So if you have, like, I don't know why you would run this, but let's say you're using a Relinquished in your Libromancer's deck. I actually never used Libromancer, so I don't know if people actually put into archetypes together like that. But let's say I have a Relinquished also on the field. It gives the Relinquished some protection. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end of the turn, changes attack to 0, also negate its effects. That's also pretty good. You can only use this effect, Libromancer Mystigirl, once per turn. Nice. Not bad at all. Next we got Libromancer Fire Burst. I think we already have a card that, I think Fire Starter is what it's called, but it's a level 7 Fire Burst ritual effect monster with 2800 attack, 2800 defense. You can ritual summon this card with a Libromancer card. Okay, so it doesn't even say the amount of stars. I'll have to actually play this just to make sure, but if it just says Libromancer card, does that mean that you can forego the amount of stars? If someone can let me know in the comments, that'd be great. If this card is ritual summoned by using a monsters on the field, it cannot be destroyed by battle. It seems like most of the incentive for these cards is to you want to use monsters on the field, which is interesting. Also, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish one Libromancer ritual monster from your graveyard. It gains 200 attack. Interesting. When a monster declares an attack, you can banish. Interesting. And it's not once per turn either. I mean, 200 isn't too much, but sometimes it's just enough to get over one of your opponent's pesky monsters. So I could see that being somewhat useful. I do like the battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. I like that. Next, we got a continuous spell card, Libromancer Realized in super rare. You can reveal one Libromancer ritual monster in your hand, special summon one fire token, nice, with the same level as that revealed monster. Okay, that just makes ritual summoning a lot easier. I'm not gonna lie, this is continuous, so you can use it again and again. That's pretty good. But however, most of the time, people are going to be looking to destroy continuous spells and traps anyway, so hopefully it stays on the field that long, but even if this comes in handy once, I think it's pretty good. While you control that token, you cannot special summon monsters except Libromancer monsters. You can only use the effect of Libromancer Realize once per turn. So while you control that I don't think that's too much of a bad side, honestly, because the second you summon the token, you can just go into your Libromancer Ritual monster, and then you can pop off and do other combos. So, not bad at all. Next, we got Libromancer Bonded, super rare ritual spell card. This card can be used to ritual summon any Libromancer ritual monsters. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. If you ritual summon Libromancer Fire Burst with this effect, using Libromancer Fire Starter on the field, it cannot be destroyed or banished by card effects. Interesting. So it's giving you an incentive. Cannot be destroyed or banished by card effects. So at least it gives your card some protection. So next we got Libromancer Displace. It's an ultra rare normal trap card, so trap trick again. Target one Libromancer monster you control and one monster your opponent controls. Return your monster to the hand, and if you do, take control of that opponent's monster. If your Libromancer monster you controlled that you targeted was not a ritual monster, the monster you took control of returns to the hand during the end phase. You can only activate one Libromancer Displaced once per turn. Not bad, considering that the negative of that is that it goes essentially your card goes back to your hand, but the monster you took control of goes back to the hand. So at least temporarily, it's no longer a problem. However, even if you send a ritual monster back to your hand, I don't think it's as bad as that could have been because of this card specifically. Now, this card basically makes it so you need less material in order to ritual summon. That's why I really like this card. So sending a ritual monster to your hand is still kind of bad, but it's not as bad because you can just summon a token, but you would still need to have a ritual spell, So that's just something to think about. So next, Libromancer Prevented. Super rare continuous trap card. If you control a Libromancer monster, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. This turn, that face-up monster cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link summon. Interesting. I mean, this could really screw over Elbaz, but kind of semi-limitedly because it's just that monster specifically, and there are other ways to pop up fusions like from your hand and stuff. Synchro Xyz or Link Summon, that's also interesting. You can also use this effect Libromancer Prevented once per turn. Once per turn during the end phase, if you control a Libromancer Ritual monster, send this card to the graveyard. Interesting. So what I'm thinking here is, in the Libromancer, not the Libromancer, but in the Albaz Strike structure deck, there wasn't a trap card. I'm forgetting what it's called off the top of my head, but it basically just locked your opponent out of a certain kind of summon, and I think that was actually better. I think that was a better version of this, but this is not bad just because it's continuous. However, I don't see myself using this as often, if I'm being honest. But anyways, guys, this is PlotArmorCards signing out for the day. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And oh my goodness, look at the time.
It's time to do